Hello, my name is Matthew Leach. At the Bailiwick Express, we cover everything from pressing political issues to court stories, charitable events, and local interest pieces. We've recently started to look back every Monday over the past 7 days to see which stories resonated with our audience, and the results are always surprising. Using Google Analytics, we've been ranking our top 5 stories each week and have decided to record ourselves doing so to give you a look behind the curtain. I'll be joined by Kit Hannah, Poppy Murray and Matt Fallais each week to discuss the most talked about stories of the past 7 days. I think we never really know what's going to appear on this list.
No.
It's always incredibly strange. I know, Poppy, you're not a big fan of the fact that we had the chip shop up there once.
No, because the chip shop one scored so highly and was so popular, and it took no effort, and it was the same week as the States debate, which took a ton of effort, and it just got nowhere near the same amount of readers.
Not because the chip shop story was a bad story. It's like we like the chip shop.
It's a nice story.
Yeah.
But it was very minimal effort for the week.
For what we got out of it.
Yeah.
What was that one? That was the fact that the chip shop had been bought out.
Yeah, and then it's going to reopen in August. So
Right.
I do see why people care.
People seem to love a certain set of things to read about.
Yeah.
They like to read about court stories. They like animals. Do we have any animal stories last week?
We had the parrot appeal from the GSPCA. We'll see if that lands up there.
Yeah. The dolphin survey.
Oh, yeah.
Dolphins usually do well.
What was the parrot one?
Missing parrot, I think 2 missing parrots from the GSPCA. The GSPCA are shocked that they haven't been reclaimed by anyone.
We haven't actually heard anything else about that since, whether or not
No.
the parrot was found or
We should
picked up.
check.
We should check.
Yeah.
That's a good follow-up story. In the past, we've gone back and had a look at the top 5 stories from when the 3 of us were working here together. Of course, Matt Fallais isn't here at the moment. He'll be included in the future. And at the moment, the top 5 are a man stealing from charity. There is the cannabis sentencing, which was a gallery story. We know picture stories do really, really well. There are 2 other court stories. Well, actually, the last 3 are all 3 court stories. So court stories... Why do you think court stories do so well?
I think partly because it's a small island and you name the people who have been involved in the story, so it's interesting to see if you know that person or someone else knows them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Did we have any court stories last week? We did, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. We had a headbutt guy. We had someone smuggle drugs into the prison. That might actually be up there.
Yeah, I reckon that's a pretty good contender. Of course,
Yeah.
I've got the list here now, so I'll start writing them up. If any of these do better than our all-time top 5, which are at the moment, we'll put up somewhere so people can see what they are and we can see what knocks off what. If anything knocks that off, we'll say it in this. But I'll start from number 5 and I'll work the way up.
Okay.
I've put a big board up on the wall, so we'll see if this works. So number 5 this week, up on the board. What do you reckon? So we do about 10 stories a day. So over the course of a week, that is 70 stories, which is a lot of stories.
I'm going to throw breastfeeding into the ring.
Yeah?
Because I don't think it will be that high, but I think it will have made it onto the list.
I think this is a good one because this is a good story, which is Lindsay de Sommeray talking about the environment.
Oh, I am so happy that made it into the top 5.
that's a real story.
So happy.
Who did that one?
That was me. She was fantastic to interview, extremely knowledgeable, and I think it's a really important subject, so I'm very pleased to see that up there.
She's definitely somebody who knows her stuff.
Yeah.
We also did a story of Bob Murray as well, Deputy Bob Murray, talking about the same topic.
I think that'll be higher.
Which one do you think? Well, we'll see. Yeah. We've got 4 more places left. What was the trigger for that story?
So that came off the back of the recent heat wave that we had, and the Met Office said that it could be attributed to climate change. So I spoke to Lindsay about it because she is in the know on all things environmental.
Very good. Congratulations, Lindsay de Sommeray. Right, number 4, we've got the Little Chapel Foundation.
Was that the first story?
Trying to trademark.
The trademark attempt. Right.
What were they trying to do there?
They've applied to trademark the words "the Little Chapel" and a few images associated with the foundation. However, there's a question over whether those attempts will be successful. The basis of their legal threat is based on these trademarks, but they haven't actually been approved yet. And the designer of the artworks claims that he retains legal ownership of them and will not allow them to be trademarked. However, we can't ask any more questions on that.
That's the story that keeps on giving.
Yeah.
We've got another one.
People were angry.
Yeah.
That is a
Very
proper
angry.
small island story, that is. That is
Yeah.
fascinating. That is like dominated this week.
Yeah, everyone's picked a side.
Everyone's picked a side. There's support posters being made on Facebook for anti-bullying and supporting Martin Gill. It's wild.
And everyone's quit now.
Everyone's quit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is all collapsing on itself. Number 3 is a court story.
Oh, it's going to be, I reckon, smuggling into prison.
Woman smuggles drugs into prison.
Yeah.
That was you, that one, wasn't it?
Yeah, so that was a woman who smuggled in 2 gabapentin tablets. There
But-
was 2.
but that's the fact, that is
Yeah,
exactly
that's
what happened. And of course, that's a court story, so people seem to absolutely love those.
Yeah.
None of these so far have topped any of our top 5.
No?
No.
Right.
But we have got up to number 2 now, which is actually one of my stories, which is Condor.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
People being forced to sleep in Jersey's ferry terminal. People being... I can't write while I'm reading. That was a ferry that got cancelled, and then everybody had to... not everybody. Some people were stuck and had to sleep in Jersey's ferry terminal because, of course, Jersey was super busy and there was nowhere for anybody to stay. It sounded horrible.
Mm.
We spoke to a couple of people about it who said they had a terrible time trying to find accommodation, and Condors apologised, but they couldn't really do much more than that.
Yeah. I can see why people were annoyed about that, though.
I'd be
I can
annoyed
see
if I
why
was
it's
sleeping in
number
a terminal.
2. Yeah.
I think there was about 40 to 50 people who were sleeping in the terminal, so it was
Oh, there's a lot of
Yeah.
people, to be fair.
And now for the coveted top spot,
Yeah.
what do you reckon?
I'm surprised that the trademarking Little Chapel story
Came below Condor.
came below Condor, and I'd be surprised if that story got less clicks than the original story. So I'm putting my money on Little Chapel again.
I'm torn between that and Bob Murray.
Mm.
It's going to be
Was
one
Bob
of those,
Murray
I think.
after or before Lindsay's story?
After Lindsay's.
A day after.
Okay, well, it is in fact the Little Chapel.
You win.
And that's the original story.
Which
That
one's
is the original
okay.
story.
Yeah.
Legal action
Legal
against
action.
The silversmith. Now I bet we've got stories this week as well
Hmm.
on the Little Chapel, haven't
Yes. Yeah, 3 or 4.
we? What have we got this week? 3 or
We've
4?
got the response, the Little Chapel Foundation's response. We've got a write-up I did about that, including the withdrawal of pro bono supporters. And there's another one coming out tomorrow, which is Wednesday, which is about the resignation of various people and the foundation, the remaining foundation members thanking the Sylvesters for their work in saving the chapel.
So if we look forward to next week, do we reckon we're going to have a couple of those in our top 5?
100%.
Yeah, maybe at least one, but it does seem to be, the sort of momentum's slowing a bit on it, and there's been resolutions to people's anger, so I think it'll probably be still there, but not as high.
Do you have any? What do we think we could else we could see on our leaderboard next week? None of these have topped our top 5.
No.
So it'd be impressive to see if we can do that at some point.
Mm.
We've got Dead Fish at Sunray Park.
Dead fish at Sunray
Dead
Park,
fish
yeah.
will be up there.
People don't like anything bad happening to animals, so that's a pretty terrible one.
Right.
No, we have 2 coming out soon about a cat and a
We do.
toad.
Oh yeah, the toad one from today.
Toad, yeah.
I mean, this will be coming
All
out
3 of
tomorrow,
those.
so this will be. What's the toad? I sent this to you myself.
It's a toad. Well, a toad was reported to have been found in Guernsey Airport, but upon the GSPCA arriving, it turned out to be a bearded dragon, and they'd still like to reunite it with its rightful owner, but it's going to join the ranks of the parrots now as sort of mystery pets.
Unclaimed pets
Yeah.
at the GSPCA.
We get a lot of press releases from the GSPCA. We're a big fan of them, so that's And we always seem to get weird animal stories. So I'm sure that one will do really well. So until next week, thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Bailiwick Express podcast. The title track was Shift My Weight by Luno. If you enjoyed it, I know it's a pain, but please like and share. It all helps, and remember, you can hit bailiwickexpress.com to stay right up to date with whatever is happening in the Bailiwick. You can find us online, on social, on email, and on internet radio. There'll be more from me, Matthew Leach, and all the Bailiwick Express team next Friday.